Hi everyone, how's it going? Today I am working with the Aflutter collection from Traci Redesigns to create this 9x12 project life layout. The thing that I absolutely love about using digital products is that with some planning, you can do all of your journaling digitally, you can do everything basically digitally, including your labels, as you can see I've done here, and then you can just print it all out, and the actual process of putting together the album is quite quick. So I, like I said, did all of my journaling digitally, including I used these little labels from the sticker sheets, and I made them a bit bigger than what they were on the sticker sheets, and I just printed my digital journaling directly onto there. I am cutting them down slightly so that they're not quite so big, but I'm sticking those two bits of journaling on two photos, one of my brother with his cool new mustache, and one of the book that I was reading during this week. So this is week 42 in my Project Life album, and yeah, I really like how it looks. My printer did cut out there, so some of the papers didn't print all the way, so I just had to go ahead and reprint that. And those two papers, this checkered paper, which was from the 4x6 or 6x4 pattern paper card set, and then the little lard paper, which I will use as my title as well. Anyway, moving on. So now I'm just going to work on my title card there. I'm going to stagger those two labels there, and that's where I'm going to put my date. I loved this heart paper because it's such beautiful soft colors, and I absolutely love that it just matches all the colors in the collection, and it's all spring vibes. So this is actually an older collection from Traci Reed. This is her spring collection from this year, and obviously being in the Southern Hemisphere means I am documenting spring at the moment, and so it was amazing being able to grab all of these amazing spring themed papers and cards from her website and use those in my spring themed layout. As much as I love documenting autumn, and it is one of my favorite seasons to document, I really liked having all of these light and bright colors to be able to use. So I'm just adding my week, which is, I think I said before, is week 42, and just using one of my puffy alphas. And then I'm just adding a tiny little cluster at the top here of like one little banner, and I'm doing just a bit of stamping using one of my very old stamps. The company that does these stamps doesn't even exist anymore, but doesn't really matter. You can use any stamp in your stash if you want to recreate this. I'm adding one of those little flower stickers or die cuts that I cut out using my silhouette in between my two dates, and then that card is done. Now I'm moving on to this card here that I just wanted to do some embellishing on, and I kept this all in so you can see what it is, all of the stages that I go through and all of the different things that I decide I want to do. And ultimately I'm settling on this. I'm layering a little flower behind that label, which will then go behind this little sentiment there, and I've also left a little bit of room to do some stamping. Now this was a bit of a giggle to myself because it said smile, I think the sentiment said, and it's funny because Emma was refusing to smile in this photo, and that's what my journaling is about, and so I'm using this little stamp that said something about laughing, which I thought was kind of funny. The little jokes we tell ourselves in our scrapping. Hey, I'm going to add sentiment to that photo at the top there as well. And then this card here had a little tag on it, so I decided I'm just going to treat it like a tag and put some twine through it, which I'm going to loop around the card, and I'm going to staple that down using my tiny attacher. The last photo I'm going to work on is that photo of my doggy after I take this little title that says sunny days, and I'm just going to put that on some chipboard to make it stand up a little bit and give some dimension. And yeah, that is how I'm going to document this page, and then I'm going to move on to the next page. I was sort of in the back of my mind thinking about how else I'm going to add another texture into this Project Life spread, because I like having some different textures. I actually have some chipboard sitting on my desk that I thought I might use, but what I decided to do, and I'm going to work on that very soon here, is I'm going to bring in some of my Nuvo drops. And this is the sort of see-through Nuvo drops, so they're not opaque, and they actually create a beautiful dimension without adding too much additional color. So this is where I come up with the idea. I'm basically going to take this Nuvo drop, and this is just I think they're called Crystal, and this is in pink, and I'm just going to add little dots all over my cards, mainly focusing on the little flower die cuts that I have layered behind my clusters. So I am doing that there, as you can see, and then I'm going back onto the opposite side of this layout, and I'm adding those little clusters, little dimensional pieces as well. So you'll see those in the final photos. This photo, the story is actually of Emma, who just decided one day that she was going to walk to my mum's house. They live close to us, but not close enough where it's just like a quick walk. It was still a solid 15-minute walk, and then Justin secretly followed her, and she had no idea he was following her, and she just walked to my mum's house, and she did get into trouble. But it was also something that I felt like I had to document, because it's funny, I did exactly the same thing when I was 5 years old. So it's very much like mother, like daughter. But my whole point in that is that particular photo, she's teeny tiny in it. So I could cover up a fair bit of it using some embellishing as well. So this is another photo from that same morning of her just walking along and Justin just secretly following her. So she was safe the whole time, but my goodness, the bravery. Anyway, the last story I'm telling is one of Mary Poppins. My mum and Emma a few weeks before this had gone to see Mary Poppins, and then decided on top of that they're going to go see it again. So of course I had to tell that story as well. With that, this layout is done. Thank you for joining me, everyone. See you all next time. Bye.